Well, hello again. It's another episode of Table Talk. I'm talking about pairs today. In particular, I'm talking about how you play a pair of eights. You got the pair of eights against the dealer's eight. Okay. The typical strategy card, calls for splitting eights every time, and I'm not a I'm not in favor of that. But let's look it over and just see what the best play for this particular hand is. And if I'm going to start off with, if you have a pair of eights, okay, and you split them, if you split eights like the card calls for, the only again, especially against an eight, the only good cards you can get are a two or a three. First off, really, because if you get any of these 10-point value cards, you're going to have 18, and you automatically give the dealer a 10 in the hole in your mind. So if you only hit an 18, that's a tie, and you're not really playing to tie. And why would you want to bet two stacks of money in order to tie? Okay, so you could hit an ace, would give you a 19. That's one good card. You could hit a two or a three. Those are two good cards, and you could double down with those. Okay, if you have a 10 or 11 against an 8, you can double down and have a good chance of winning. Okay, so really, out of all these, there's only three good cards that you can get on your 8 against an 8 or against anything, but in particular against an 8 this time. So that's 3 out of 13. I mean, I used the lowest common denominator, and there's 13 numbers in every suit, 4 suits per deck, 6 decks. Okay, there's a lot of them, but this is the easiest way for me to look at it and not have to get into a computer or something. I just want to know what the nuts and bolts are. Okay, so that's really three good ones, and you'd have to, if you get to 2 or 3, you double down, and then you run the risk of getting bad cards too. So you could not only have that one stack there, but you could double down, and you can lose twice as much there's 6 bad cards. Okay, and if you double down on 11 and get and catch an ace, you have a 12, so that's bad. So really, there's this would go here. There's 7 bad cards for your second hit. Okay, if you double down with an 8. Okay, and so to me, that's not very good. These are all tie, and that's 7. So there's only 3 good ones. A tie is bad. You're just breaking even. You don't want to do that. Okay, so it's really 10 to 3 against you, making money this particular hand. Of course, we don't know what the dealer has in his whole card, but these would all make him have a good hand. Okay, there's 6 good cards for the dealer. Okay, any 10-point value card, it's going to beat you out your 10 to 3. Okay, probably. And there's 2 other ones, so 6 good ones. 2 other ones that make him a great drawing hand. You have 11, you have 10, okay? So that's 8 good cards for the dealer to have in the hole, okay? He can already have you beat right here 6 times. Great drawing cards. There's 5 that means he's going to have to draw again, and he runs the risk of breaking. so that's good for you. But they, there again, they can make a hand out of that. So it's 8-5 against you, splitting eights against an 8. Okay, 8-5. That's bad. And again, with these type of hands that are, I call them marginal, you could get hit with another 8, and you're not going to sit on 16 against an 8. You're going to have to hit, and we'll look at the chances on that in a minute. So you would split them again. Okay, it's one of them ones that suck your money in on a marginal hand, pretty marginal. So splitting an 8s against an 8 is not good. It's 10-3 against you. That's worse than the 8-5 that usually things are. So in order to play this hand, okay, this is what you get. You're against an 8. Your best shot, just hit. Okay, you're only gonna, if you lose, you're only gonna lose your minimum bet. Okay, still could possibly win. If he has any of these cards and breaks, you could still win. Okay, so that's 3, 5, 7. It's 7 against him, 6 for him that you're already beat. So it's almost 50-50, really, that you're already beat. Okay. So, but if you just hit 16, just think of it as 16. It might as well be a 10 and a 6. Just hit it. You could hit a 4, a 5, or a 1, 2, 3. Any of those, you improve your hand. Okay. But there's 8. There's the 8-5 that I was telling you about. That's usual odds. So it's 8-5, 8 bad ones, 5 good ones against you. So 8-5 against you if you hit. And if you hit, and he's got 18, you have to have at least the 3, 4, 5. So your odds even go down worse than that because you have to hit the right ones. Okay? But the saving part is you're not going to lose as much. You only lose your bet that you got out there. You're not going to lose your stack and maybe another one, and maybe you double or whatever after that. You don't get your money all sucked in one hand that's really marginal. Okay? So splitting is 10-3 against you. Okay? Splitting is 10-3. All these are bad. These are the only good cards. And with them, you have to hit another time, but you hope for a good card. Okay? So that's because these are tie you. They're not good because they tie. You're not making any money. Why risk more money? Okay. And the dealer has it's 7 bad ones. 7 times out of 13, he's going to have to hit. Okay. He can have the 2 or 3, and that's a good double down hand that as a player you want to double down. But he can miss. He can have the 2, 3, and then hit a 4 and then a 8 or something. So there's always the possibility of him breaking too. And the other option, another option that some people will play, and you can. I mean, it's 7. It's about 50-50 that he's already got a good hand. Okay. Actually, it's about 50-50, with more leaning a little bit more towards him having to hit twice, because he might have all these cards, any of these cards. So you could just stay, just rat pat and not take the chance of breaking, because like I said, if you hit 16, there's only 5 cards that improve your hand, and if he's got the 18 already, there's only 3 cards. Get him straightened out there. There's only 3 cards, excuse me, that make you a really good hand. 19, 20, 21. Okay? So consider it 5 out of 13. 8 to 5 against you right here, making it. 6 to 7 that he's going to have to hit again. So 50-50. This is way overloaded towards you losing. So I would, if it's me, I'm not gonna hit this. I'm not gonna split the 8s against an 8. That is not a good plan. If the dealer has a 7 up, if the dealer's showing a 7, okay, you get 16, okay, then he has to have, the 9 goes away, okay? He has to have one of these cards to be pat already. He'd have 17 or 18. So that's only 5 good cards for him that says he's pat. That means there's 8 bad ones that he would have to draw 2. And anytime you have to draw, you can break. Okay, but there are 3 good ones in the deck, okay? So this is 50-50 right here. 5 good ones, he's pat already. 5 bad ones, he's got to draw. Here's what tilts the scale, is these 3 good ones. 9, 10, 11. And then all of a sudden, all these come into play. Okay? So against a 7, it's still, I still wouldn't split them, because, well, let's see, if you could get an 8, okay, you could hit any of these 10s, okay, you could hit a, let's see, that's going to be a little more interesting. You could make a 10 against a 7, you could make 18. There's a 10, there's 11, there's 19. So those are all good against a 7, okay? These are all bad. Okay, and then this is good. No, this is bad. As I said, with any of these, you have to decide if you're going to take a chance on breaking against a 7, because it's 50-50 pretty much, whether he's already got you beat or not. And if he has to hit and he's got a lot of these other cards, there's a good chance he'll break with any of these other cards. So splitting 8s against a 7 comes back to your advantage, okay? Because with the 8, you're doing 2 piles, okay? Possibility of getting sucked in for all your money, all in. You want to have the advantage, but there's 7 good ones. You possibly could double down, and you have 6 bad ones. So the advantage is leaning towards you now again. 7 to 6 of getting a good card, okay? 6 bad ones, you have to decide if you're going to bet he's already got it or not, okay? Some people do, some people don't. It's, it's breaking down like this. If he has a 7 out, there's 3 good ones for a draw, okay? There's 5 good ones that he's already pat, and there's 5 bad ones with a 7 that he's going to have to draw. 5 totally bad ones, 3 are good draws, so it's 8-5 against him right now, because when he takes 2 cards, he can break and lose. So I would say split the 8s against a 7, and the advantage is going to be for you. Okay? And again, you always have to consider how much money you got, though. If do you want to go all in if you have a short stack and you're doubled up already up here? Do you want to put that much money in, or take the risk of losing the half bet? Okay? So I'm going to say split the 8s against a 7. All right, well, that's my take on this particular hand. So thanks for joining in, and come back next time for another exciting episode of Table Talk.